Welcome back. Chad Evans inside the Stone State studio, once again with M&M Carpet One Floor and Home. I'm here with Mike Jr. I also got Dena in the house again today. Good to see both of you.
Yes, nice to see you, Chad.
And we have a lovely guest, Carla. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well. We're going to ask you a couple of questions coming down the line and how you got hooked up with M&M Carpet One Floor and Home. Before we get all that, I want to talk a little bit about the staff of M&M Carpet One Floor and Home and how you work together. You know, with Dena being there, you have Mike Jr. being there. What's the synergy like within that building out in Bloomsburg?
Would you like to go first?
Well, no. Talk about what it was like before I was there.
You throw me on the spot here.
What was it like before, Dena?
Well, free for all chaos. No. Working with Dena has been more than a pleasure. What I like is for some reason we do make a really great team. Yeah. She has all the design aspects of it, and then I have the flooring knowledge. So one thing I found out is, as you know, Dena's kind of like a drill sergeant.
In a good way.
In a good way. Yeah. There's always a good undertone. And with that being said, I found out real quick is if she needs something done, you do it. So, and then no complaints, you know?
Right.
So, another thing too is like working with her. If I have a project that I'm going to, I already have everything I need: address, name, phone number, materials, pricing, packaging, everything that I need to do my job properly and efficiently.
Okay. Very good. I want to touch a little bit about estimates, if I can, before we get to our guest, Carla. Not all estimates are one size fit all. What is the process for estimates, and what do you need as a company to provide the best estimate possible? And I'll start with Dena on that one.
Well, the first thing about the estimate is the client comes into the shop, and usually the first thing is I need to get some carpet, or I need to get some tile, and how much is it going to run me?
Right.
Well, we really don't know like how much it's going to run you. It's like, what's your favorite ice cream? And there's hundreds of flavors of ice cream. But we need to, my job is to narrow down what it is that they want, what area they want. Because they'll come in, a lot of times they'll come in and they want the whole house full. But really when it comes down to it, we're going to do this, this, and this first, or we're just going to do this one. But a lot of factors go into it. For instance, there is whether the carpet or the room is over 12 foot wide and it's carpeting. Where the seams are going to go. That can, just because the room is 9 by 15 or 9 by 13, that means it's a 9 by 15 carpet that you're buying. You're actually buying a 12 by 15 carpet pretty much to cover the flooring. And yes, there is waste, but I try to explain that to them. But I try really hard to collect all the information, get the choices narrowed down to, again, back to my rule number 3, threes, 3 choices. And then I get all their information, and then I pass the information along to Mike Jr. He goes out and measures, and then what do you do when you're there?
So what I do is I kind of systematically look at it from an installation standpoint. So say you're doing a kitchen, the first thing you're going to do is move the appliances. Then you have tear out, substrate repairs and stuff like that. Now, I like to say my job's like gambling because I have no idea what's underneath these floors 90% of the time. But yeah, just systematically just go through the procedure as if I'm doing it myself. And that's the way to do it.
Yeah, and then he'll come back and, I've already given him the information he needs for packaging and things like that. Then he types up the estimate. And then it's my job at that point to contact the customer, and I do email it off, and I'm a hands-on type of girl. I don't just email it off. I call and check.
Okay.
And if I don't hear from you, I call and check again, because you can look at an estimate, and most of the time, it's even sometimes Greek to me looking at it, because our system only allows you to print so much on the page. And then the customer will ask questions because they don't necessarily know what molding is, or a transition strip, or a threshold, and what the difference is between them. And so I help in that aspect. And, you'll see different things like that. And then the questions come back. But, and I'm going to segue into Carla. Carla was on a process. She moving into a different home, and we did several estimates for the same space in the same areas because we were working with different product, trying to decide which way to go and which was the best for things. And that's where I think a lot of clients don't realize, and the general public, all this has to go back to him. And just because, it's not that easy to plug in the difference of the price. Say something's $1.99 a square foot, well, something else might be $2.49 a square foot, but the packaging in the boxes are different. It changes the whole trajectory of the project, and he has to figure that out, because if he makes a mistake, I can't just plug it in. And it's nice to have two pair of eyes, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
And I am a little bit of a taskmaster and kind of his, like,
we'll call it that.
Just a little, just a pseudo mom sometimes.
Then mom, there you go.
So we have Carla in here, a customer of M&M Carpet One Floor and Home. How long have you been a customer for?
I would just say since last summer.
Okay, this is exciting. How did you find them?
Well, my daughter had work done.
Okay.
She put an addition onto her home, and she used them. And she was telling me how this wonderful lady really helped me out. And that's kind of how I came to walk in the door.
Sure.
I had been to a lot of different places, but I found them to be extremely helpful. Extremely kind, and Dena was great. I told her what I liked, and she seemed to be able to pick just exactly what I wanted. I like white, shabby chic.
Yeah.
I don't want a lot of loud colors. I wanted softer, and she just it was just, there were a lot to choose from. There were a lot of samples, and so much more than anywhere else I went.
She can get in your head.
She can get in your head.
What was the project that you're working on?
We ended up purchasing a home last June.
Good.
And we ended up totally renovating. So we did a lot of rooms, pretty much the whole house. And so I wanted kind of a vinyl plank flooring, water resistant type situation.
Yeah.
And then some of the bedrooms we put carpeting in.
Okay.
So, and then plus we renovated bathrooms and we put tile. So I would go in there again, and she seemed to be able to just know what I liked, and would be able to pull, different ideas for me. And like I said,
some of the bathrooms already had some tile in them that we were coordinating with.
Yes, and we did the kitchen. We put a new kitchen and did the tile, but it just was so nice because you could go in. You didn't have to spend all day. It was she did it in a timely fashion, and just seemed to, like she said, give me three. And I said, exactly what I want. I want this one, and so it made it quick and easy. And Mike came out. He was kind and just did his thing. And I can't believe that he's able to do some of that just by looking, But I just found them to be excellent.
That's awesome.
So. He went out several times. I can't remember what it was we had the issue of, but you went back out and measured twice because it wasn't working out. He just was not sure. And I don't know whether you'd get that anyplace else or even the big box store. He wasn't going to we weren't going to order the carpet or the project until we were sure that it was right. Like there was some, because they were knocking out some walls and doing some different things.
Yeah.
You went a couple of times to look at this because he goes, I need to go back out there one more time. I'm not sure. And, I know sometimes it could be frustrating for the homeowner, which wasn't the case with Carla, but he goes back out for a reason. He just doesn't go back out because he forgot something. He goes back out because it's not adding up. And the worst thing is to not have enough of something or have way too much.
It is definitely not your big box store situation. It is the hometown type situation where they kind of hold your hand through the process.
Yeah.
Even during rainstorms.
So that's right.
She had to stay a little bit longer one day because we had torrential downpours.
Yes.
So we got to know each other a lot better.
Dena's good company.
Yes, she is.
When you have a torrential downpour.
Yeah.
But their attention to detail is really what sets them apart.
And they think of something that you might not have even thought of in that happened here, I mean, my husband and I have a lot of rental properties,
Okay.
and we're not new to this, but in this project, this is my house.
Yeah.
And there were things that Dena brought up that I didn't really think about.
Yeah.
And so they do kind of take you step by step. And that's the difference between going to a big box store versus a hometown, smaller business.
Sure.
You get that extra help.
Did you have some not so good experiences in the past with maybe talking about, your rentals and maybe you're flipping some properties?
They've been okay,
Yeah,
but
sure.
they haven't been what I felt with this.
That personal
And I
touch.
needed that because this was the whole house, and this is something we were purchasing, the flooring, et cetera, that we want to have for a very long time.
Yeah.
I don't want to replace it in 5 years. I wanted something, a good quality product, that I don't have to just change it in 5 years, 10 years. I wanted something to last.
Yeah.
So-
And that's the good thing about them is that they have all the quality products. And that's great.
They do.
But when you have that personal touch and that really attention to detail, they actually care.
They have they have more of a selection.
Okay.
When you go to the big box stores, you have a little bit of a selection, but they expand. And I'm kind of fussy, and Dena knows I like a certain thing, and I want different kinds of tile. I want to be able to pick a whole variety, not just be limited.
Right.
So that's the difference here. They have the selection.
See, that's interesting. Carla says she's a little fussy, and that's fine. So when you meet a new customer that might be in what they call a little fussy, is that something that is like, oh, I don't know, I better accommodate their needs, or do you educate them and walk them through that process?
I try to walk them through the process and what's going to happen, especially like with what's going to happen with Mike coming out to their house and what's going to happen when it transpires back. But too, I'm extremely fussy and I want things to be right. The people come into our store and they're spending a lot of money and they're spending their time, and we need to give them the same amount of consideration back. And that's what I keep. I hype on poor Mike, like, we got to do this and we got to do that, and I'm always like, this is what we need to do, and and he goes, then he'll go, what will I do? And we bounce things off of each other, which I think works out really well. And I also help. Everybody looks at him, and because he's young, he doesn't know anything. This guy knows a lot. He gets it all the time because he's the little guy, and he's the son, but he's extremely knowledgeable. Where he can explain to you the difference between SPC and WPC and waterproofing, and I don't really want to know that, and neither does Carla. She doesn't.
Sure.
Like, she just wants to know that it's waterproof.
Yeah.
I just want to know,
and that's his job. Not
children
mine.
drop water,
Yes.
and if it sits there maybe longer than 10 minutes, 15, is that going to just totally ruin that floor?
Right.
Or is it going to hold up to that? The other thing with them is that I think is a huge difference in going through what I've been through with rental properties and so forth. They get back to you right away.
Okay.
This isn't something that maybe next week or 2 weeks from now, they'll call you. I want to get this done. I want to get this in the plan, and they get back to you right away. That's the difference, I think, with them versus some other places.
Let's be honest, you don't see that every day.
No.
With everybody.
No,
anymore.
you don't.
In this day and age, you
No.
really don't. But it's that attention to detail. It's just like they do go above and beyond.
And it's
they really do.
a timely manner.
Yeah, we're all busy, and
Yes.
we want our things done right, and it's also their stamp of approval.
Yes.
That's another thing that you're buying.
And we had to. I said we need to be moved in by this date.
Yeah.
So I need this. This has to be done before the next step, and then the next step. So I gave them a timeline too, and they met that. So that was very.
We like a challenge. She gave us time. She gave us time constraints, but we managed to be able to get through the time and everything that she needed, even down to the emergency area rug from the weekend before to getting it done.
You talk about challenges. I mean, in Junior, like if you go out there, have you ever said to somebody, "This isn't going to work"? Have you ever had to say that?
Well, sometimes I get a list of demands that aren't feasible, but majority of the time we love a good challenge. And we work with deadlines constantly. You got furniture movers come in, appliances, you name it. So it just that type of stuff keeps the industry fun, I think.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you remember one of those challenges where you maybe had, I don't want to say a difficult conversation with a customer, but were you able to be like, I don't know about this, but we can do this?
Yeah, Friday.
Friday.
Oh, every day.
Yes, Friday was the ultimate.
Yeah, we were there till about 7:30.
And we stayed. We closed at 6.
Yeah.
I mean, he and I stayed. We had a customer that was very leery, and but the customer wanted us to promise an install date with something that we did not have. And I could promise it, but it wasn't happening. Like, I'm not going to promise something.
No, you can't.
And, and kept asking and kept asking and kept asking. And I'm like, nope, you either pick something in stock that I can promise, but I can't do something that I have no control over. Because what a lot of people don't understand when you special order something, you need time. But once it gets to the trucking company has 10 days to get it to you. 10 days in trucking land is 14 because it counts the weekend.
And that's out of your hands.
That's out of my hands. It can sit in the Philadelphia terminal. Actually, we have one trucking company that's in West Hazelton. It can be up there for 5 days. And they'll go, we'll just go up and get it. It doesn't work that way. And so unless we actually physically see it, it's very hard to make promises. And I wasn't going to do that, and Mike wasn't going to do that, but we reassured her, and we reassured her about the products. And again, a lot of times they're told things that really don't really matter to anything with the carpet. And one of the things she came to me was, well, is carpet? It's waterproof. What kind of waterproof is the carpet? I go, there's no waterproof carpet. Like there's
no such thing.
There's no such thing as waterproof carpet. And so, I mean, we just try to educate. So we did, and we went above and beyond. He pulled things out on the computer. We went down the list, showed her everything, and she left confident.
With peace of mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the credibility. It's the transparency of the business. Yeah. It's not like you said to the customer, like, yeah, we can get it done. Then the customer leaves, and you're like, how are we going to get this done? That doesn't happen.
And the big box stores would shut the lights off.
Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
How many people do you find today that will stay an hour and a half past closing? Not many.
Well, that's wild.
Not many.
Have you referred their services, Carla, to
yes.
any of your fans? And what do you say to them?
In showing the house, people would say, I love this floor. Just yesterday had a man, my daughter's in-laws came and saw the house for the first time. And he just kept saying, I love this floor. I just love this floor. And I said, oh, yes. You don't really see this color everywhere.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine that you can get that many colors of hardwood floor.
People come into our space and look at the floor, and I joke and I say Temu. I said we got it from Temu. I'm kidding. I said it's obviously.
Chad, really?
Temu? I'm just kidding. Yeah, Amazon had a heck of a deal on it. No, it's I know I won't go anywhere else just because they just solved your problem so quickly, and it just
And you can trust.
Yeah.
You can trust that it's going to be done the right way.
And another thing too, I think is a great blessing that having a small business has. Carla was kind enough to invite me to an afternoon tea at her house after she moved into, and I met a lot of her family and friends. So, I mean, how often does that happen?
Right.
Lovely.
And I said, this is the flooring lady.
Yeah.
So anytime you need flooring, and that does work. Word of mouth is gold.
That is the best form.
I mean, word of mouth is.
Yep, it really is.
Golden.
Yeah. Do you have any projects on the horizon, Carla? Are you going to take a hot
Well,
minute?
we have a house for sale, so we're doing a few little things, but that is the last one that I want to do for a long time.
Yeah. Good.
So
Very good. I think we touched on estimates before, and I don't know. I want to make sure that we're clear. And this will be the last question I have, but for a customer, how can they be very prepared coming into the store to help you get a gauge on an estimate? Or is it, Junior, that you have to go physically there and maybe double check their work?
Yeah.
Like what is the process to make your lives easier?
Yeah. So sometimes we do have customers that'll bring in layouts
Like
and
floor
stuff.
plans.
Yeah. And like some of them are good and then some of them are kind of not so good. And what happens is like, if we go base it off of that and they make a mistake, I still feel like it's kind of on us.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so we always do the procedure to make sure if it's a small little bedroom, that's one thing. But if you're doing an entire house, you definitely want to have somebody come out and take a look at the whole project.
Yeah. Do you have a method to your madness?
After doing this for 16 years, it's kind of just like riding a bike at this point.
Yeah.
A little mundane, but I got the grasp of it, you know.
You get the old tape measure out.
Yeah,
here we go.
Yeah, it all started with following my dad on measurements, and he started me from the bottom, but that's a whole long story. But at this point here, I've been typing up estimates since I started because the old man's not so tech savvy.
He goes way too fast. I can't even fathom.
Yeah.
But another thing too with estimates, and a lot of people don't figure in, had something happen on Friday again. So people are afraid to have extra of their flooring.
That's something I wanted to say, and I forgot to mention this. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But what do you do with the extra? Well, Dena said, we could bind that for you and make some runners, and I said, that would be wonderful. So they made some runners for me that I could put in the hallway before you went into the bedroom. And it would just help with the extra carpet.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't a ton extra, but it was enough to make a little runner.
Yeah.
And
that's what having the extra it's not waste. We're not trying to sell you more carpet, but because of the cuts, and hers had a pattern to it, you had to order to make it the repeat match.
Okay.
And with flooring, but I had a DIY client, and I said to him, they brought their measurements and this is how much square foot. I go, did you put extra in? Yep. Nope. Got down to it, and they needed another half box full of tile. And then the issue becomes, now they're in the middle of the project, can't get it finished, and shipping, and having that extra piece of tile just because something could possibly happen. The refrigerator leaks, somebody drops something, you don't know what you need, but having what he calls attic stock. I didn't know what that term existed till I got with Mike, but attic stock, there's nothing wrong with having attic stock. No, you may never ever use it, but be glad you'll never ever use it, because if you do need it, it's there. And that's trying to go it down to the edge. And our installers have done it, like when there's hardly anything left, like Patrick yelled at me here a couple weeks ago, and there was only like 3 tiles left. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And he doesn't like that.
Right.
They would rather have a half a box or a full. They'd like to have a full box left over if they could. Yep. And it's not that we're trying to get extra money from you. It's just things can happen. And the other thing is, especially with tiles, something could be broken. There could be a different dye lot. You name it, it could happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The nicest part is that attic stock. I like to refer to it as insurance, basically, because down the road, say you drop a hot pan or something breaks in the middle of your floor. And what happens is, if you go to order that a couple months, a year down the road, the locking mechanisms can change, the dye lock can change. There's a lot of what ifs, basically, throughout that whole procedure. So having that attic stock, you're good to go.
So it's not like, that's how they get you mentality.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
There's a reason
for it, for sure. So, Carla, it sounds like you're happy.
I'm very happy.
Yeah, you're very happy, and that's really all that matters. And they solved their problems, and they created solutions, and that's fantastic.
2 happy people in the same family. My daughter.
Hey, we got a win-win.
So,
that's wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
But Carla, thanks again for coming in, saying great things about these nice people, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
And Dena, Mike Jr. coming in hot with M&M Carpet One, Floor and Home. As for me, my name's Chad Evans, and we are here inside the Stone State Studios, and join us next time.